We are currently witnessing the most significant power shift in the history of human civilization. For centuries, power was concentrated in massive institutions, governments, giant corporations, and centralized banks. You were taught to be a small gear in a very large machine, trading your loyalty for a promise of protection. But that social contract has expired. We have entered the era of the sovereign individual. This is a time where, for the first time in history, a single person equipped with a laptop and a clear vision has more leverage than a mid-sized company had 30 years ago. The walls that used to keep the elite in and the masses out are crumbling thanks to the democratization of technology, capital, and information. Most people are still operating with a 20th century mindset, looking for a stable job in an unstable world. They are still tied to a single geography, a single currency, and a single tax code. They are vulnerable because they are centralized. The sovereign individual, however, understands that the ultimate form of security is decentralization. They don't wait for the economy to improve. They build their own economy. They don't look for a career path. They build a value delivery system. This mindset shift is the difference between being a victim of the coming changes or being the architect of them. To be sovereign means to decouple your income from your time and your location. It means moving from a state of dependency to a state of total autonomy. If you are still waiting for permission to be successful, you are already behind. The future belongs to the individuals who have the courage to own their own production. The greatest chain holding you back is the one you cannot see, your geographic location. For generations, your income was determined by the city you lived in and the local market you served. If the local economy suffered, you suffered. The sovereign individual recognizes that this is no longer a requirement, but a choice. In the digital age, being tied to a single physical office is a strategic liability. The elite are moving toward a model of geographic arbitrage, earning in strong currencies, investing in global markets, and living in locations that offer the best quality of life and the most favorable tax environments. They are no longer subjects of a single territory. They are citizens of the Internet. This shift requires you to stop thinking like a local worker and start acting like a global asset. When you provide value through digital platforms, your market is no longer a few thousand people in your neighborhood. It is 8 billion people on the planet. This level of scale was once reserved for multinational corporations, but today it is available to anyone with the discipline to master a high-income digital skill. By decoupling your physical presence from your economic output, you gain the ultimate leverage. You are no longer vulnerable to local political shifts or economic downturns in one specific region. You become anti-fragile. The system wants you to stay put because a stationary person is easy to track, easy to tax, and easy to control. But a sovereign individual is fluid. They go where they are treated best, and they build their wealth on foundations that no single government can easily dismantle. Freedom is not something that is given to you. It is something you architect through your own independence. Most people are exhausted because they are still trying to build wealth using linear leverage. They believe that if they work more hours, they will earn more money. This is the ultimate trap of the industrial mindset. The sovereign individual, however, focuses on exponential leverage. They understand that there are 4 ways to scale a business: labor, capital, code, and media. While labor and capital are old-world forms of leverage that require permission and management, code and media are the leverage of the new elite. A line of code or a piece of digital content works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever asking for a raise or taking a sick day. This is how a single individual can out-earn a factory full of workers. When you create a digital asset, you are creating a soldier that fights for your financial freedom in every time zone simultaneously. You are moving from a model of renting your brain to a model of owning your intellectual property. The system is designed to keep you renting because renters are dependent. But owners are sovereign. By building platforms, products, or audiences, you are creating a moat around your lifestyle that is impenetrable. You no longer need to ask a boss for a vacation because your income is not tied to your chair. This transition requires a brutal period of front-loading your effort, working intensely now to build systems that will serve you forever. It is the choice to be a producer in a world of consumers. In the age of leverage, the distance between $0 and $1 million is no longer a matter of sweat. It is a matter of the systems you choose to build and own. To be truly sovereign, you must separate your money from your politics. Most people are completely dependent on the financial health and the whims of their local government. They save in a single currency that is being systematically devalued by central banks, and they keep their assets in institutions that can freeze them with a single keystroke. This is not ownership. It is a permission-based existence. The sovereign individual understands that financial independence is impossible without financial privacy and diversification. They treat their wealth like a global fortress, spreading their assets across different jurisdictions and into decentralized technologies that operate outside the reach of traditional bureaucracy. We are entering the era of the digital gold rush, where those who understand how to store and move value through non-traditional rails will have a massive advantage, while the masses are waiting for the next stimulus check or a change in interest rates. The sovereign are building portfolios of digital assets, global equities, and hard commodities that are immune to local economic collapse. They realize that the greatest threat to their wealth is not the market, but the hidden tax of inflation and the risk of centralization. By taking full responsibility for your capital, you remove the middleman from your future. You stop being a victim of the Great Reset and start participating in your own great breakout. True power is the ability to walk away from any situation, any job, any country, any system, because your wealth is portable, private, and entirely under your control. The traditional education system was designed to create obedient workers, not sovereign thinkers. It taught you how to memorize, how to comply, and how to wait for a bell to tell you when to eat. To become truly independent, you must aggressively deprogram yourself from this institutional conditioning. The sovereign individual understands that in a world of rapid technological change, your formal degree has a shelf life of 0. Your only real asset is your ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn at a pace that the competition cannot match. We are in the golden age of self-education, where the greatest minds in the world are sharing their secrets for free or for pennies on the dollar. The barrier to entry isn't the cost of tuition, it is the lack of discipline. High performers don't wait for a curriculum, they build their own. They follow their curiosity with an obsessive intensity because they know that unique knowledge is what commands the highest price in the global market. While the masses are consuming mindless entertainment, the sovereign are consuming high-level mental models, technical skills, and strategic insights. They are building a personal monopoly by combining different skills that the system never intended to be together. When you combine deep technical knowledge with high-level sales or creative storytelling, you become a category of one. You are no longer competing for a job. You are offering a solution that nobody else can provide. This intellectual sovereignty is what makes you irreplaceable. You don't need a diploma to prove your worth when your results speak for themselves. In the new economy, your reputation is your currency, and your skills are your passport. The era of the institution is dying, and the era of the individual has arrived. You are living through the greatest opportunity for personal freedom in human history. But this freedom comes with a heavy price: total responsibility. You can no longer blame the economy, the government, or your employer for your lack of progress. The tools for your liberation are already in your hands. The only question is whether you have the courage to use them. Being sovereign means you are the CEO, the investor, and the architect of your own life. It means you stop complaining about the rules of the game and you start building your own board. This is not a path for the faint of heart. It requires you to embrace uncertainty, to prioritize discipline over comfort, and to trust your own vision more than the consensus of the crowd. But the reward is a life that most people can only dream of. A life without borders, without ceilings, and without masters. If you are ready to stop being a spectator and start becoming a sovereign individual, your journey starts today. Break the chains of the old world and step into the new reality. Join our circle of thinkers and builders who refuse to settle for anything less than absolute sovereignty. Subscribe and activate the notifications to ensure you never lose your edge. The system is changing, but you are ready. Take control. Build your empire